Henceforth, the conquered would absorb the conquerors. As if conscious of these omens and problems, the mind of Rome at the close of the Antonine Age sank into a cultural and spiritual fatigue. The practical disfranchisement of first the
Hey everyone, I'm just testing my mic. Let me know if you can hear me. If you cannot, I will adjust my settings. I will give everyone another 7 minutes to get on. Hey Sam, how are you? Thanks for giving me confirmation of my my audibility. Hope everyone's having a good Friday night. I know there's a exciting event going on for Global Exchange in Toronto somewhere. I am on the other side of the world, and it is in the wee hours of the morning. So that's exciting. For those of you that are just getting on, we are giving the guests, attendees, and fellow brokers another 6 minutes until we get on with the show. Yes, that is true. Hey, can someone turn off the volume? Whoever is watching the webinar in this office. Yeah, no, I only wear things made by Invest and Nike. So, and yes, my goal is to one day be the first business executive that Nike sponsors, like an athlete, but not an athlete. Hopefully someone could call Phil Knight, Mike, or Mike Parker and tell him, let me, there's this guy keeps wearing your stuff. You should talk to him. No, I mean, on a completely serious note, one of the first autobiographies I ever read was Phil Knight's autobiography called Shoe Dog. It's a fabulous book that I would highly recommend, where he talks about the inception of Nike and how he would, how the company was really formatted, and how this very bootstrapped, unrecognized American shoe manufacturer at the beginning time was a shoe retailer, took on Adidas and Puma and changed apparel and sports forever. So what I think was shocking was his ability to write. I don't think anyone understood. I don't think I gave the credence to how effective of an author that he was, but he was quite the remarkable writer at his age to be able to do that. Quite impressive. So from that day, I had a different perspective on the company, and from recently, I've gone on this deranged objective to try to get them to sponsor me, which is so funny. So that is that. 3 more minutes, guys, before I get rolling with everything. We are awaiting a few more people, and we can go from there. Today, I'm going to see if I can get some YouTube videos to play through this speaker. And That would be great if I can get that working. Two more minutes until we get started. Just giving an update to the people that just hopped on. There's a full 2 minutes till we get rolling. Oh, perfect. The audio works. All right. 1 more minute before liftoff. It is officially 6:40 a.m. IST, which means around the world is different times, but Eastern Standard Time, which of course is the most important time zone in the world and the only time zone that I think in, simply because that's where I was born and raised. It is 8:10 p.m. Thank you so much for everyone joining the call. Wherever you are joining from, I wish you nothing but salutations. We will begin and have a fabulous webinar. It is being recorded for anyone that wants the access to it. Of course, at some point, the team will post on YouTube, and then in the Facebook group, I will start by making the most important notification, which is that if you're not in the Facebook group, you have to get in the Facebook group. This is GX Bitcoin Brokers official Facebook group, which is not restricted to people who like Bitcoin or brokers or GX. We welcome people of all coins to this group. I just put it in the Zoom chat. Please join it. It is the central hub for everything that we're doing and really propagating the movement for people to learn about cryptocurrencies and, of course, global exchange. Above and beyond that, I will do 2 housekeeping rules. Number 1, I speak very quickly. I apologize in advance. Number 2, I speak with a considerable amount of jargon. That is what happens when you spend the better half of the last 3 years in cryptocurrency. You stop talking English and you start speaking cryptocurrency. So I apologize for that. And if at any given point my internet cuts out, please let me know and I will repeat myself. But without further ado, we will get started right now. The way that I like to do my presentations or introductions to global exchange is I break it up into 4 segments. The first segment, I talk about the parent company, what our intentions are, what we try to accomplish over the last 24 months and what we have been successful in accomplishing, and how that positions us well to really take global exchange to heights that were never before seen and probably explore some new angles in the crypto sphere that have been hitherto unexplored. That will give you an idea of who's behind the company and why you should like and or believe in our vision. In the second part of the presentation, I talk about the cryptocurrency markets. I try to give a new light to the cryptocurrency markets and try to give you a new paradigm through which you should examine the opportunities that present itself and how a small percentage of people within the cryptocurrency markets capture virtually almost all the value and how you can join that small class. The third part of my presentation, I do a quick overview of all of the global exchange products, the technology stack, and what is available right now and what is not and what is to come. And the fourth part of the presentation, which is what you guys are all here for, is how you can get involved, how you can get money, how you can set yourself up for financial freedom, and how you can ignite your finances with the tools that we've created. At the end, I will open it up for questions over the panel option in Zoom. So you can raise your hand and I'll make you a panelist. During the call, if you can't help yourself and you want to ask a question, shoot it off in the chat and I will be sure to answer it. Let us rock and roll. I will be screen sharing almost the entire presentation because I have most of the tabs open, which are pertinent to what you guys want to see and what I am talking about. So make sure I'm on a nice big screen and we can have loads of fun. So where did this all start? Where did this vision kick off? What is this parent company? Well, the parent company was started by myself and a man named Warren Carson, who both of us are from a cold city in the Antarctic called Toronto. I'm joking, it's not in the Antarctic, it's just in Canada, but it's real cold there right now. And so I'm taking a shot at that. Both of us were very astute investors in different asset classes, and we both fell in love with crypto in 2017, and we both became derangedly obsessed with the idea of cryptocurrency, to the point that at the end of 2017 we wanted to address what we saw as the greatest problem in crypto, which is how do you take a demographic which has never been accustomed to cryptocurrency, people that are 40 to 60-year-olds living in North America or Western Europe who have access to completely normal banking services, and give them the desire and or infrastructure to get cryptocurrency. All the cryptocurrency companies at that time were dealing with millennials. They're still dealing with millennials because millennials are great customers. We like to buy things and we're highly speculative. We took the other approach and we built our first company in the space called Invest Bank. If you want to learn about Invest Bank's exploits and adventures, you should go to investbank.com. And at investbank.com, you can see that Investbank is an online digital banking software that supports the fiat and cryptocurrency asset class. And it's nothing much more exciting than that. However, we thought we were highly contrarian because we wanted to accompany this online banking software with physical banking branches. Yes, that is correct. We were bold enough to envision a day where people would have physical locations all across the world, similar to Barclays or a Bank of America or a Santander. Wherever you are, you will know that less than 5 minutes from you, there is a physical branch whereby you can transact. And we thought that was gone in a way with the Stone Age. However, we thought that in order to make that new demographic like crypto, we needed to build this to establish senses of security and points of adoption into our software. So we went ahead and did that. First location was in Toronto, Ontario, hometown, where we acquired a TD Canada Trust Bank, and we transformed it into what became the first branch. And this is a small little video that you can find on YouTube that displays the Invest Banking branch. Yes, that is the Invest Bank branch in Toronto, Ontario. And it was the first of its kind when we opened it for beta testing last year. And it is still the first of its kind today. That really differentiated ourselves because, again, no one had ever attempted to do that. And really, we were able to cut our teeth in the markets with that differentiation. Come 2018, and as it really starts to get rolling, what we realized was that we had a knack, and by we, I meant the management team behind Investbank had a knack for building out these blockchain platforms or blockchain-based platforms, and we had already had a sense of notoriety because of our physical branches. So we said, how can we help other cryptocurrency companies do this and take advantage of the cryptocurrency market, which was depreciating? And so we launched what we run today, which is called the Invest Group, which is available at invest.com. And if you go to invest.com, you can see that the Invest Group is an incubation platform, functions like a private equity fund where we invest into a broad-based portfolio of crypto startups, and then we leverage our technology prowess and our distribution in our distribution networks across the world to help those companies grow. We have a basket of about 24 portfolio companies, probably 25. Some of them are available on the website, although I do know that this needs to be updated, of companies that we think are super important and have big futures in the crypto space. You can go through this entire website to learn everything about them, meet our team, look at our venues, look at everything about the parent company. And we have obviously a very large vision for what we're trying to accomplish. And the last thing I want to talk about is Invest Campus. And you can go to bangalore.investcampus.com or london.investcampus.com. Or if you want to see a coming soon page, you can go to toronto.investcampus.com because that's the newest location that we're trying to do something with. And Invest Campus is really simple. It's a network of R&D facilities. I am sitting in the largest one in the subcontinent. I am currently in Bangalore, India, and we have built what is a fabulous research and development facility accompanied by a training institute for blockchain developers and a production studio for blockchain companies. Essentially, if you have an idea and you stumble into here, we will give you some roti and make you a blockchain entrepreneur. But how we spend time with almost 100 developers to take the technology to the next level is what you guys should really come to understand, because we are more than committed to the propagation of this technology, and that is what separates us from the ability to build, deploy quick and suitable products for the market. And like this, we've duplicated smaller ones in London, and we really want to do Toronto, but actually, there are 2 other cities that we might do first because of how things are playing out with global exchange. So that's the parent company. We're excited. We are distributed. We are passionate, and we are focused on trying to deliver a more open financial system. Now let's get into what happened in the cryptocurrency markets. If you don't know anything about the cryptocurrency markets, some of this information might be a news flash. If you do know about the cryptocurrency markets, you should know most of this information. However, my goal and the only thing that I hope to accomplish is to present you a paradigm within these markets that most people, even crypto savants, miss out on. I am on my favorite website in the world, coinmarketcap.com. If you are a crypto anybody, you know that coinmarketcap.com is the website that you go to learn about crypto prices. It is an aggregator of all cryptocurrencies. Yes, all of them, thousands and thousands and thousands of them, whereby you get live pricing data, chart analysis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you looked at the statistics, you'd realize that CoinMarketCap gets some 80 million unique visitors every month, making it not only the most popular cryptocurrency website in the world, but the 5th most popular financial website on planet Earth, which leads you to believe, what does this website do that's so impressive? And I will tell you what this website does that's so impressive. It presents the most shallow explanation of the cryptocurrency market's ability to create wealth, which is the price of Bitcoin and or other assets. People like a drug addict come to this website every day to check this price right here, 7,226, and wonder, are they richer today or are they poorer today? This would be the moral equivalent of owning a farm and for some reason getting a quote on that farm every day. This is what retail investors like to do. They're caught up in day-to-day price movements, and in crypto, which never shuts down as a market and fluctuates much more aggressively than other markets. This is a godsend to be able to check on a daily, if not hourly basis. And so what I want to talk about here is on this homepage, two numbers that get overlooked and don't get enough credit. The first number is this right here, market capitalization. For those of you that know financial lingo, you would know that market capitalization represents the total notional US dollar volume in any financial asset. Well, in this time it's cryptocurrency. You take all the cryptocurrencies in the world and you look at all the US dollars that are currently inside of those assets, and it makes up 196 billion US dollars, or 196.5 billion US dollars. Now, that number is neither high nor low. In 2017, that was an $800 billion market cap, which means it was 4 times what it is today. And in 2011, it was probably 1/4 of what it was today, if not less, which means it's a relative number. But what it does represent in the span of the global financial system, a quarter of $1 billion, a quarter of $1 trillion, I should say $1/5 of $1 trillion is a very small amount of money. To put it into perspective, probably the market capitalization of most NYSE companies, definitely the FANG stocks, Apple, Amazon, Google, have much larger market caps than all cryptocurrencies combined. Okay, well, that means you're early to something. That's great. And I find it hilarious when people think that they're late to cryptocurrencies, because that is, again, the equivalent of saying you're late to the US stock market when the entire stock market is now was smaller than the size of one stock today, which is hilarious. What I want you to focus on, however, which again most people overlook, is 24-hour trading volume. Now, why do I focus on this number? Well, 24-hour trading volume means how much of the market cap exchanged hands in the last 24 hours. In other words, out of the 1/5 of $1 trillion in the cryptocurrency markets, how much of it moved? Well, that's 111 billion US dollars. Now, if you are not an analyst, you might not find that shocking. But if you are an analyst and if you traded in other assets, you will find that incredible, because what that means is over half all the money in this entire asset class switched hands yesterday. That is incredible economic price reflectivity, volume reflectivity, meaning people are exchanging at a rapid rate that is driving volatility, and that volatility changes prices rapidly. As you can see, Bitcoin's down 5% today. It's going to be up some next percent tomorrow, and who knows what's going to happen next day. What we do know is it'll be vicious. Okay, well, that asks one great question. Whoever invested in Bitcoin yesterday is 6% poorer. Whoever invested Bitcoin at the beginning of January is almost 2.5 times richer. All of that being said, there has been one small group of people who have profited off of all of that. These are the groups of people that benefit when there is high trading volume, and there's always high trading volume, irrespective of whether the market's down, up, sideways, in circles. And that is exchanges. The people who are facilitating these trades, this volume. Who are they? They are faceless. Where are they? We don't know. But luckily enough, CoinMarketCap at least tells you how much money they're making. If you click rankings and then go into exchanges, and instead of clicking reported volume, which is what the exchanges report as their daily volume, but who believes them? Why don't we just go to adjusted volume, which is quasi-verified volume? I'm not fully verified, but to some degree has a level of verification. And we can see not cryptocurrencies here, but all the exchanges and the volume that they are doing. And it's astonishing. BKEX, I assure you no one on this call knows what BKEX is, and I assure you that if 1,000 people end up watching this video, none of them will know what BKEX is. I assure you BW.com is a website you have never been to and will probably never go to. LBank.com sounds like LBank.com. P2P to B2B, yes, that is some real exchange. And the one that probably has the most name recognition here, number 5, Binance. Let's talk about BKEX. Again, exchange you've never heard of. Last 24 hours has had 2.8 billion US dollars traded on it. Let me repeat that number for those of you that needed to hear it. Again, that is 2.8 billion US dollars in transactional volume that happened on their exchange. That is astonishing, because how exchanges make money is by providing liquidity markets, platforms where people swap. One person buys, one person sells, and they charge a maker and a taker fee. Let's just give them the lowest possible maker-taker fee that they can charge, which is 0.01%. basically a basis point. If BKX was charging a basis point in the last 24 hours, they made $2.8 million in fees. BW, $2.3 million in fees. L Bank, $2.1 million in fees. That is a 24-hour metric. What have they done? Nothing. How much risk have they taken? Nothing. What has happened? People have speculated. What has happened? Money has changed hands. What has happened? Bitcoin has gone down. Tomorrow it'll go up. Who doesn't care? BKEX. Who does make money whether the market's up or down? The cryptocurrency exchanges. And boy, are there a lot of them. There are over 600 at this point, centralized exchanges, and they all do the same thing. They obviously all don't make as much money as the top 10. The top 10 make obnoxiously the most money, and then they start depreciating in returns from there. However, this business model is sent from God. You create a technology platform that's highly unregulated. You don't really need to have any banking infrastructure, as they're mostly doing crypto to crypto transactions. If you do USDT, BTC, you're good enough to go, and you are printing money. So, number one, why doesn't more people know about this and get involved on the exchange side? Well, it's not so easy to start an exchange if you don't know anything about cryptocurrency. It's much more easy to buy Bitcoin, and you're promoted to buy Bitcoin. Number two, is this what we're doing? Is this what Global Exchange is doing? Have we come to the realization that this is the business to be in? Well, that is, both answers are, well, the first answer is the reason people don't do it is because it's hard to do for them. Number two, the question is this what we're doing? Absolutely not. My team started to look at this market a whole 17 months ago. Actually, probably longer than that, but I've lost all sense of time. And we had one question. Is there an issue here? And there is. There's two great issues with this picture-perfect business model. Number one, this is complicated. There is an overwhelming growth of complexity. Every new cryptocurrency exchange that hits the market complexifies cryptocurrency, which is already complicated enough, even more because it forces people to learn another platform. It silos off more capital into a random platform. We said there's over 600 today, there'll be over 6,000 very soon, and that's all additional complexity that a market does not need in its inception. So what we did realize is that user interface, user simplicity goes down because of these platforms. Number two, what's the next big issue? Security. These companies are all playing the greatest dangerous game in history, which is let's try to hoard as many digital assets from our users as possible so that they trade on our platform. They are custodians, especially on the centralized ones are custodians. Custodians, fancy word, meaning you must transfer your Bitcoin from your computer to their computer if you want to trade. Sounds like a great idea because normal customers don't trust themselves, but you know who you really shouldn't trust? A single computer with everyone's money, because even if that computer is owned by Mother Teresa, guess what's going to happen? It becomes very valuable. Let's do a simple mathematical equation. If there are 15 people on this call and all 15 of them have $1,000 worth of Bitcoin on their computer, well, now as a hacker Shorupan has to hack 15 systems to find out what's the total money in this network and how I can get into it. Breaking 15 encryption schemes is a waste of my time and money. Next, because I don't know how many of these individuals even have money to begin with. Next, all 15 of us come together and say, you know what, let's move the money from our individual computers into an exchange. Now you've taken 15 computers with $1,000 and put it on one computer who now has $15,000. Well, as a hacker, Shorupan hacker character, would love that idea because you've put all the gold in one temple, as they used to say in India. And that becomes really easy to pillage. And realistically, any amount of money I want to spend to pillage it becomes worth it because I know there's a huge prize on the other side. You can bet your socks that if an exchange is doing $2 billion worth of trading volume, there's a good reward as a hacker to get into it. So even if the company is super diligent, which they're usually not, because as you can see, most of these companies were started yesterday. Even if the company was super diligent, they are exposing themselves to tremendous hacks, which has not been unbeknownst to crypto. There's been over $8 billion in cryptocurrency hacks in centralized exchanges since the inception of cryptocurrency. We suspect that number will increase. Are we not vulnerable to that ourselves? Of course we are, but our architecture is different from day one. And that is what we are trying to superimpose. So number one, the issue, this is complicated. Number two, unsafe because you are centralizing assets. Again, those two issues, I didn't need to tell you. You can look at the leading experts in this space. They're shouting that from the top of their lungs. So why don't people listen? The reason people don't listen is the drug of fast trades and liquid books, liquid order books that are available on these exchanges is too addictive. You want to get in and out of positions quickly? Well, BKX is the place to do it. Binance is the place to do it. So you're willing to give up everything to use them. And so is there an alternative? My team questioned, we wondered, we pondered, we became stressed, we banged our head against desks trying to come up with a solution to this. And we thought we had an answer. And we realized that we had at least the inceptions of an answer in what became Global Exchange. Now I'm heading into the third part of the presentation to try to explain how our product stack solves the problems and takes advantage of the cryptocurrency market paradigm, which I just explained. Well, if you go to globalexchange.com, you're going to see a really fancy website that doesn't say much, but looks like this. And what the first thing you see says GX, introducing the world's first exchange operating system. Learn how you can own the GXOS. GXOS obviously stands for Global Exchange Operating System. What we believe is that the cryptocurrency markets, with all of its advancements, innovations, DeFi products, exchanges, needs an OS. An OS is a fancy word, stands for operating system, basically means a standard interface through which users can communicate with the computing infrastructure. If you are watching this webinar on a Zoom on your phone, you are using Android or iOS. Those are mobile OSs. If you're watching this on your computer, you are probably using Microsoft Windows, that is the world's most popular OS. If you are a programmer, you use Linux, which is an open source OS. If you are an Apple fanatic, you are using Mac OS. What do all of those platforms have in common? They never made a computer in their life. Well, I guess Apple makes computers as well, but what they really specialize in is creating integrated operating systems. See, Microsoft understood that early, Bill Gates understood, and Paul Allen understood this, which was that irrelevant who makes the computer, computing will become a commodity that derives itself from Moore's law and, again, commoditize itself. Doesn't matter if it's HP or Acer or IBM or Dell or Lenovo or anybody. What is important is the interface which you use to engage with that computer. And so what we feel is the same thing. It's irrelevant whether it's Binance or BKEX or Coinbase or, it does not matter. What is important is how you learn to use that technology. And in overwhelming complexity, there's always opportunity, and that's what we want to tackle. We are the windows of the cryptocurrency markets. And in other words, we are a platform that connects all of the exchanges, liquidity providers, ICO, IEOs, any crypto app or dApp wants to come to Global Exchange to interact with users who are getting a unified experience. To start the kickoff for Global Exchange, we created 7 apps. They are here. Meet the GX family of apps. You can see them in this fancy control panel as well. And what are these apps do? Well, each of them, if you want, I can spend a good 10 hours talking about all of them because it is so interesting and so complicated in some degree, but also so simple. And what the problems they're addressing are so magnificent. But I'm not going to do that because I think all of you guys would sufficiently hate me at that point. But what I will do is talk about what each of them do in terms of problems they're addressing. And then you can go on our YouTube channel and go on their websites, because each of them have websites, and go read the literature that we've published on them. The most important innovation we brought to the market is this guy right here, GX Trade. It is a centralized routing system. What does that do? Well, it does exactly what I talked about. It takes all the biggest exchanges, and using a consolidated API allows you to trade on all of them in one place. In other words, you no longer need to create accounts or you no longer have to create accounts in any of your exchange accounts. You can already have accounts, that's great, no problem. But you can have a consolidated trading interface where you can click a button and say, I want to execute on this exchange, and it will go to that. What does this do for you? Number one, it simplifies things. Number two, you get better price realization. Number three, you are no longer leaving your money on those exchanges. You can either leave your money in our hot wallet or a contract wallet, MetaMask, different decentralized wallets. that is decentralizing the storage of cryptocurrency while still giving you access to these liquid order books. How does this work? I have a video for that. And it's already beta testing live, so I could show you in live time. But I will show you a video because who doesn't like videos? This is a little promotional video for Global Exchange that is kind of old and outdated, but it still does the point.
Worst is over. The monsters in my head are scared of love. Trying to pick up, listen up. It's never too late to change your love. So don't let me steal your life. Don't let me break your stride. It's like the other side. Beauty of the it's forever shine.
If you guys didn't catch that, I will slow it down. Actually, the UI turned out to be a little bit different, but the objective and the end result was the same. This obviously was designed, and then we went ahead and developed it. Look at GXTrade trading platform. You know, it looks just like every other trading platform. However, there's a little bit of a difference. There's this button here that says routing to, and that's a little Binance logo. If you as a user want to click that, you now open up a control panel with all your exchanges, all the exchanges that plug into it, and you can select upon which exchange you want to execute your trade. You can select based on price, based on speed, based on volume, based on amount of coins that are available. You know, you can based on whatever you want, because you have a balance there, because you don't have a balance there. You can do auto transfers into them, auto transfers out of them. All of this is at your disposal. What do we compare this to? Well, it's like being in New York City on a Friday night and opening up your app, Expedia or Airbnb, and realizing I just want a hotel, and Expedia aggregates every hotel in the city and explains it to you by price, by location, how far you are, and what you want. And that is what GXTrade does. Please send the link for the video in that chat. Absolutely, I will send all the video. Need to use some old music. Yes, I do need to use some old music for, well, I don't know what old music is. I love music that was made, you know, in the last couple of decades or even before that. So I'm sure we can have some throwback music there. And I will share both videos that I just used reference. But if you haven't already gone through the GXLive channel, please go through it, because these videos are there. And this little is a little bit older, but that is there. Again, GXTrade simplifies, that solves that core problem. That is the core app that we try to propagate right now. It's live for beta testing for our users, and it's really cool. And I'll show you what it looks like in the app as well. Where were we? Go back to oh yes, the family of apps. If GXTrade is the favorite son or daughter, then the remainder of the apps are fabulous accomplices. You have GX Markets, which is a decentralized money market protocol aggregator. Yes, that is a mouthful. Please go and watch the videos on GX Markets. Go to moneymarkets.io, which is our website where we explain what a decentralized money market is. Long story short, for the first time in the world, there are protocols, decentralized protocols that require no intermediary, that lets you leverage your crypto, that lets you take the Bitcoin that you have, that you want to hold for your kids and your kids' kids, and put it in a smart contract and then borrow against it. That is what I said, borrow against it, borrow other cryptos, and then have liquidity for those cryptos while you still hold control over the Bitcoin. And that lending and borrowing protocol happens completely decentralized, and money markets, GX Markets, completely live, fully functional inside of Nitrust, and also in our decentralized app, which is app.moneymarkets.io. And most people don't know how to use it yet, and we haven't taken too much time to explain people how to use it, apart from 2 tutorials I made on YouTube. But it is one of the most remarkable applications in the cryptocurrency markets at scale. It will reinvent the lending markets. You can see that I've played around with it. I have some Ethereum lending, borrowed some OX, completely decentralized, no lending party. Global Exchange has no control over this. It is open source as it comes. And what it does is it revolutionizes the way that we accrue interest and pay interest. Why is that important? Because we've aggregated not just our own money markets, but all the money markets that other people are building into GX Nitrous. And now you start to see what I'm talking about. The world of DeFi, decentralized finances, so broad and is only going to get more broad and exciting. And within that broadness comes complexity that we are reducing in GXOS. Could you imagine how complicated it would have been to send an email before Microsoft? Well, you don't need to imagine. Many computer programmers were doing that. They would have written it on Unix command line. And if they had to continue doing that, we would not ever have sent an email. And that is what empowers people to adopt new technology, is a simplified interface. I think I got a chat here. What are people saying? What was the website for that again? Oh, Shorupan. Oh, thank you so much. We try our best, and one of the things that we need to get better at is communicating our innovations. But we move at such breakneck speed sometimes that it's almost like we run and we don't talk because of how aggressive we pursue product development. But those are just examples of two apps. You have GX Algo, which is an algorithmic trading software, coming soon to a Nitrous near you. GX Academy, which is essentially available at academy.globalexchange.com, which is a Udemy for financial markets. People can create courses and they can take courses. Right now, we're putting together the content team to be able to upload their courses from all around the world, so you can learn how to trade in different crypto markets. You, as a GX broker, will be able to sell those as well once they're fully integrated into Nitrous. You have GXLive, which is like a Yahoo Finance for crypto, where we offer and free education, free alerts on what the markets are doing. Excuse me, just everything about the markets, completely free. And that is like a Yahoo Finance. We call it Trading Social Network because over time we would like to develop that into that. And I believe that what's now on GXLive.globalexchange.com is going to move to actually to be on the main domain globalexchange.com, as it does better in terms of like SEO and gets more people clicking on the site, even though this Global Exchange website was like a passion project of mine. So fascinating. I don't know if you guys know, but you land on this website, you can actually move around this icon and it's like lighting up the world, right? Because Global Exchange lights up the world. That's how corny we are. And if you click next and you do the same thing, now you get to unlock the world's trade. Yes. This is how we enjoy ourselves. You have GX Decentral, which is a decentralized routing engine, and then which I will explain more detail in the upcoming videos, and GX Initial Fund Offering, which is a decentralized fund management system. Okay, these are the first 7 apps on Global Exchange, and these are the apps that we've developed. However, we don't think we're that smart. We are opening this up so that anybody can develop apps on Global Exchange, launch their apps on the GX Nitrous platform. And what we're really creating is a Google Play Store for Exchange apps or DApps. That is the vision of Global Exchange, and GX Nitrous is obviously the first operating system. Fabulous. Let's go into the platform and see what it looks. gxnitrous.com, sharpan@gmail.com. And let me just also say my password out loud. That happened to me once, so not going to do that. So if you log in, and it takes a whole 2 seconds to sign up for GX Nitrous, completely free, completely simple to sign up, you will see immediately that you get this interface to a platform that has a bunch of stuff going on. On the left-hand side, you have all of your apps: Vault, Broker, Algo, Trade, Bets, DeFi, Token Swap, IFO, Logout. Some of them are in beta testing. We specify that. Some of them are not. This is your Vault. If you want to know what a Vault is, GX Vault, it's basically Coinbase. Everything Coinbase does, we've put into the Vault. You're allowed to have US dollar accounts where you can top them up. You can go between crypto and fiat currency. You can trade, you can send, you can receive crypto, you can stake crypto. It is the simple wallet portfolio management tool. See all the coins that we support here. It's obviously live, and this is what most people are using for their OTC business right now. And all the other apps fall into here. If you click GX Trade, you'll actually be able to see what I was talking about when I was explaining GX Trade. Right now, we've integrated Kraken and Bitfinex for beta testing, but we'll also be integrating the other exchanges very soon. And here I can actually choose, let's say, Bitfinex, which I think is already pre-selected. I could type in coming in BTC, and I would have the BTC USD price here from Bitfinex. This is Bitfinex live data coming in. This is Bitfinex's real order book, and then I would be able to execute a trade. One of these, probably on tomorrow, next webinar, I'll do a live trade with GXTrade to show you guys exactly how it works. It's quite fascinating. Same thing, Kraken, same thing, anything. And that's what's going to be the power of GXTrade. That just like that, there's all these exciting other apps. It's super exciting and fully functional from the perspective of the apps that are finished beta testing. And many people are using GX Nitrous now to enhance their cryptocurrency experience. And we are working on making it simpler, better, more effective, easier to use every day. So that gives you an overview, high-level overview of the solutions, technology solutions. I really feel bad every time I have to do this part of the presentation because I feel like I'm shortcutting a lot of people by not taking more time to explain each of these things. Obviously, I can talk about each of them for hours as it took us months to build each feature. And so if you do want to learn more, I would really appreciate that you do learn more and you take the time to learn and you take the time to understand where we're going with some of this technology roadmaps. So that is the solution we present to the market. So now, understanding that we have a really competitive, interesting product, how does the average person make money and position themselves in this market? Why are you on this call? Well, you're on this call to ignite your finances, the name of this webinar. Why did we use that name? Well, because we wanted to create a movement whereby people take advantage of this great secular trend. What is a secular trend? A secular trend is an inevitable transition from one way of doing things to another. And the reason you call it secular is it cannot be slowed down by a government. It cannot be slowed down by a country. It cannot be slowed down by opposition. It is happening. And there have been a couple secular trends in the recent century. The invention of the automobile changed everything. The invention of the airplane changed everything. The invention of nuclear weapons changed everything. More recently, the invention of what was originally the ARPANET and then later became the internet changed everything. I would even say the invention of social networking applications like Facebook changed everything. And cryptocurrencies will change more about your life and the way the world works than every single thing I just said probably combined. And that is a radical statement because some things that I just said changed not just everything, but fundamental structures of our society. The reason I say cryptocurrency is a bigger secular trend is because cryptocurrency is attacking a way of doing business, a way of writing transactions, which has been used for the better half of 3 millennia. Ever since the invention of commodity currency, gold, and then all the way until the end of the gold standard, and then leading until Nixon got rid of the gold window, you had commodity currency, which is the foundation of transactions and business. And then you had fiat currency, which is what we use today, paper currency. It's not really paper anymore, but government issued fiat currency. Cryptocurrency is like comparing those. It would be like comparing not a horse to a car, but it would be like comparing walking to a car. That is how revolutionary it is. And I mean, we can talk about that another time. But the reason that secular trends are important from a financial perspective, apart from the fact that this one is particularly involving financial markets, is because people who are positioned well when those things are happening become very wealthy. Very wealthy, unbelievably wealthy, actually. But it's almost impossible to prepare for one. It's almost impossible to realize one is happening because you're living day to day. You don't realize what is happening, and it's almost impossible to convince someone to let you in on one once it's already happening. But with crypto, there's still the opportunity. Like I said, it's so early, it's ridiculous, and the opportunity is not to buy Bitcoin. Although I would highly recommend buying some Bitcoin to understand the profoundness of it, but it's not like that is where you are going to exercise the greatest profits unless you are very cash rich. What you need to do is become an owner of the market. And that leads us to why you're on this call. In April, I traveled from Asia back to my home in Toronto. And I wanted to basically get Global Exchange going with the team in Toronto. And me and Warren sat and stared at ourselves in the invest bank and said, what can we do to drive adoption? And so we ran some surveys to find out why things weren't being adopted. It's a great question. People always ask me like, oh, why isn't crypto adopted more? Or why don't governments adopt it? Or blah, 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 blah. Well, I said, let's stop speculating. Let's ask the markets. And by the markets, I mean the internet. So I ran some online polls and asked that simple question. Why don't you use cryptocurrency? And we targeted people who have very little post-secondary education, so they wouldn't be like computer scientists. We targeted people that were lower middle class, because as ideally that's the majority of the world, or the majority of at least the Western world, which is our primary audience. And so the answers that we got back were not shocking, but they were also alarming. The first answer is it's too complicated. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I myself, who pride myself in understanding it pretty much a lot about computer science, been working in it for a long time, and understanding financial markets, also working in that for a long time, still find cryptocurrencies complicated. So can you only imagine what my grandmother feels about it? So it is very complicated. Okay, fine, we can't really change that. Number two, the second most pertinent reason why they don't use crypto is it's hard to access. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I always thought it was not the hardest thing to access, but I'm also a privileged 23-year-old that lives in a country with almost perfect banking infrastructure. And so maybe it wasn't insanely difficult for me to access, but the amount of people that can share that description are literally like 0.0001% of the world's population, as most people, even living in North America, do not have access to cryptocurrency markets. And definitely once you leave the North American continent, your chances of having access to the cryptocurrency markets is almost slim to none. So it's almost impossible to access. You definitely can't get it at your bank, which is where you get the rest of your financial assets. Number three reason why they don't use crypto, they find it ephemeral. Ephemeral means something that's hard to grasp because it's not tangible. Well, that's pretty much the definition of cryptocurrencies. It is not tangible because you cannot touch it. It is not gold, it's not cash, you can't hold it in your hand, you can't fondle it, you can't look at it and say it's so beautiful because it's living in a protocol. It is living on the internet. It is living in cyberspace, let's call it. So that's kind of difficult for people to imagine. All right, so we said, oh man, we can't really solve any of those problems because they're baked into the nature of cryptocurrencies. And so we kind of got gloomy and we said, oh man, like no matter how great our product is, that's not going to tackle the fundamental issues and whatnot. And then we came to a startling revelation, which became the most profound revelation and the basis of everything that we do, which is that, wait a minute, all the other financial assets that became mainstream over the last 50 years, insurance, mortgages, mutual funds, registered investments like education funds and retirement funds, derivatives, mortgage-backed securities. The list goes on. They also share all three of those characteristics. They embody them so perfectly, just like crypto. Number one, everything I just said is too complicated for the average person to understand. I assure you this, that you do not understand your insurance policy. I assure you that. I assure you do not understand how derivative markets work, and I for sure know you don't understand the terms and conditions of your mutual fund. So they're all very too complicated for the average person to understand. Number two, are they easy to access? Absolutely not. You can only access them if you know someone that sells them, which may seem like a lot of people sell them in the case of something like mortgages or insurance, which is true, but the point for access is still really small. It's not like you get them everywhere, like at a convenience store per se. Number three, are they tangible? They are not. Every single thing I just said is a piece of paper. As I didn't say real estate because physical real estate is not a piece of paper, but mortgages are. Every single thing I just said is an abstracted financial product made up by a bank that does not, you cannot touch it in a million years. Most of them are actually just ideas that one day will hopefully cash in, like an insurance policy or a pension fund. Okay, so what differentiates those products from cryptocurrency? Actually, what differentiates them is not that complicated, but it's something that the crypto markets have not woken up to yet. It took us a long time to wake up to it, so I can't blame anyone. The reason those products became mainstream and are used by most people in North America and Western Europe today is because they had a structured network of brokers. A trained army of people who would go out every day for decades and sit with people and create the need for that financial product, then make it simple, decomplexify it, and then make it easy to get by handling the onboarding process, and then make it tangible. I always used to say, or now I say a lot more, your insurance policy is not real, but your agent is. And that never happened for crypto. Never happened. Last 10 years, crypto turned 11. Never happened. Do you know why it never happened? Number one, no one on crypto is on the same page. Why? Because there's no central body that says you have to be on the same page, which is what I love about it. Number two, everyone in crypto is so partisan, it's ridiculous. They only care about their own exchange, their own ICO, their own coin. They're fanatics about one Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever coin they're promoting at that time. They're all partisan. So there was never an opportunity for you to get paid just for getting people into crypto. And because of that, that never spawned a network of what we would call brokers. And we said, Eureka, why don't we create that technology where anybody can become a broker, leverage our global exchange technology stack, which is already just aggregating other platforms, and they could get paid just for onboarding people into crypto. No matter what crypto they buy, they get paid. No matter what type of transaction they facilitate, they get paid. No matter when the customer buys it, they get paid. And no matter how much the customer buys, they get paid. And no matter how deep and far away the transaction is from them in terms of levels of people that were referred, they get paid. That was our objective. And that is what we launched, beta tested in May. Go through this website to see how GX Broker pans out. And this took our business viral. What would have been a cool technology, global exchange, became the driving opportunity for many, many influencers and many people across the world. Because now you can cash out your influence for literal transaction fees. You can launch your own brokerage business for no cost, monthly cost, overhead, or anything. You can agnostically help people get into the asset class without being partisan. You can simplify their user experience and educate them. And people from all over the world gravitated towards this, to the tune of, we have about 800 brokers, or maybe a little bit more than that now, in about 36 countries. And we are obviously scratching the surface. How do you become a GX broker? Super simple. You have to stake. Stake means lock up in a smart contract, which you can do with one button in GX Nitrous, so you don't have to worry about understanding what I just said. You must stake 1,000 GX tokens. As you can see, I've staked 1,000 tokens. You stake 1,000 GX tokens, you are a broker. GX token is our native cryptocurrency, which we created to regulate how you become a broker. In other words, instead of charging you for becoming a broker, instead of asking you to pay monthly like Shopify does, which is great, Shopify is great. Instead of encouraging people to sign up and quit and all of this stuff, we said it's very simple. You want to become a broker, you acquire 1,000 GX tokens, you put it in the smart contract, you earn SEP coin, it's another topic, and you unlock this tab, your brokerage business. If you don't have your 1,000 token stack, if you don't have your 1,000 token stake, you don't get this tab. You can use everything for GX Nitrous for free, except you need to have 1,000 tokens here. And here you can manage your whole brokerage business. And you can see your banks, you can see your commissions, you can see your downline, you can see all the brokers that you have, you can see everything. You can manage, you can set your own fees on OTC trades, you can do everything. And all you need to do to get people involved is send them www.gxcheckout.com/your username or affiliate ID or whatever it is that's available for you. And they sign up with their email. It takes them 30 seconds. If they're really slow, 60 seconds. It's free. They have a Nitrous account now, and they can explore the world of crypto. And every transaction that they make in GX Nitrous for the remainder of their life, you're getting a kickback on. That is global exchange. That is the GX broker platform, which is obviously the largest and only network of cryptocurrency brokers in the world. It's obviously the world's first exchange OS. And we're really excited about what this presents for you guys. Right now, it costs about $500 to become a broker. You create a Nitrous account, you top up your account with dollars, e-transfer, wire transfer, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you swap that for GXT, and now you are a broker. You join our community, that Facebook group, you get connected with our in-field sales trainers, you work with them. It's as simple as signing people up for Coinbase. except now it's easier, more dynamic, and you get paid off of every transaction. For the first time, a secular trend is happening, and a tool is out there, very low cost tool, that allows you to have unlimited upside for propagating that secular trend, which will happen with or without you. Now you just have a vehicle to monetize it. So that is the Global Exchange presentation. That is what we offer. I will now open it up for questions if people have any. If you do not have any questions, please go sign up for free at gxcheckout.com and get the link from the person that referred you here, and get into the Facebook group and learn what we're doing and help us make our platform better by telling us where there's issues and making suggestions. And as we grow into our main launch coming up next year, we want to build a really dynamic community of users, developers, traders, and of course, brokers. So let's see if there are any questions. So you can ask a question by putting in the chat, which I see 2 people have done, or you can want to talk. So connect with GXLive Online. Who's saying all this? Oh, this is Kina. Great. Can we by any chance get all the information in other languages? The market I personally want to target is 90% French. Are you in Quebec or are you in French? I mean in France, sorry. I was about to say that in French because I do have very bad French, but I do know it. Are you in Quebec or are you in France? Are you in actually continental Europe? I am addressing God Christabel. Congo, oh, even better. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, yes, we are actually doing a big Pan-Africa push coming time soon, so you should get in contact with us through your GX WhatsApp support chat, and we can definitely talk about that. The language we're currently translating the platform into is Mandarin and Hindi, for obvious reasons of population excess on both fronts. French would not be difficult if you are getting into that market and want us to expedite our French translation. Absolutely, we could do it. Obviously, you know, je ne sais pas français. I know a little bit of French, and we would love to translate it if that's the case, because we understand that it is important to have this multilingual. But yeah, so just talk to your GX support team and say that this is your intention, and we can really get that going for you. So yeah, these couple questions. So can I buy Bitcoin directly from this platform as a GX broker? Of course you can. I mean, you can buy it even without being a GX broker, and you can buy it as a GX broker. You go to GX Nitrous and you click Vault, and you can top up your US dollar bank account, your bank balance in many ways. Once you have put the US dollars in there, it appears here, and then you click trade. You click trade, you say I want to buy Bitcoin, and you say I want to buy some $5 worth of Bitcoin from my account balance, and click buy, and then it'll come into your Bitcoin wallet and you're off to the races. If you don't want to top up your US dollar balance, we also offer instant credit card purchases. Can I buy your GX token without a credit card? Actually, you cannot even buy GX token with a credit card, but you can buy every other cryptocurrency with a credit card. If you want to buy with credit card, you just click buy with credit card. It takes you to our website, which is we own, called Instant Crypto Purchase, which is a place where we're aggregating all crypto-friendly payment processors. And so you can buy crypto with credit card here up to $20,000 per transaction, instant fulfillment. But in GXT, you can't do that. All you can do is trade it from your account balance, and you can use also Bitcoin. Where is it? Oh yes, you can. If you want to buy GXT, just click this. You click GXT. You can buy it using Bitcoin, putting buy Bitcoin in your wallet. You can use it Ethereum. You can put Ethereum in your wallet, and then you can obviously use your account balance. Just click trade, and you'll get your GXT. Hopefully, we're going to add credit card for GXT very shortly. Can I become a broker using PayPal? Great question, actually. Basically, what you're asking is, can you pay for GXT using PayPal? Yes and no. Not officially through the app right now, but if you talk to your support staff, our support staff, sorry, and request a private PayPal link, we will send you one, and you can do it. So just make sure you get in contact with your upline person that referred you here, and they will initiate a support chat with you, and we will then send you a private link via email where you can purchase your $500 US, and then we will top up your account here, and you'll be able to buy your GXT. And then soon we'll be able to actually have that PayPal option directly here as well, which would be what we want. Yeah, definitely. If you want to learn more about crypto and GX in general, just, I guess, first sign up to be a free customer and play around with the platform. But more or less, the greatest resource that we try to make available is our YouTube channel. There are lots and lots of videos on crypto generically and lots of videos on global exchange. If you go through those, you'll already have a sufficient understanding of what we're doing. You can go through my YouTube channel where I talk about Bitcoin a lot. I do a lot of conferences. I'm releasing a book on the history of Bitcoin that explains everything about cryptocurrency markets. You can read that. And of course, if you want to chat it up with me, you can talk to your upline on how to get in contact with me. What is the USD value of each token? Great question. So the way that it works is that there is 350 million GX tokens. To be a broker, you need 1,000. Right now, you can actually become a broker by staking only 450 until January 1st. But after January 1st, it will be 1,000. And the way that that works is when you're buying the token from us. Once you buy the token from us, you can sell it on the secondary market. We're listed on multiple exchanges. So right now, when you buy the token from us, you're buying it at 0.0054 ETH, which is basically 90 cents, 91 cents. Obviously, that changes day by day, but it's about 91 cents per US per token. Where's my little Zoom doohickey here? Oh, there it is. More Q&A. So you have to answer those. Missed the start of the presentation. Is there a GX presentation? Yeah, there's absolutely. There's a GX presentation. There's this webinar on YouTube from last time. I'll also put this webinar on YouTube. If you're in the Facebook group, it'll be in the Facebook group first. So please join the Facebook group. And just because I'm shamelessly plugging this Facebook group, which I think is the great resource in cryptocurrency, I will put it again in the chat. Yep, I just put the chat, just put it back in the chat, Facebook group. Please join it, and YouTube as well. It is there under GXLive. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, as that is where we post all of our updates, and you can get broad-basing information about the cryptocurrency markets and global exchange. Great questions, guys. How does your company profit from the service? Oh, fabulous. Fabulous question. So we make our money in it's really simple. We give away all of the fees that we make in all the transactions. So the brokers, you can read our fee disclosure statement where we show exactly, and you can read the compensation plan where you can explain, you can see how the commissions break up between brokers and all the people in the broker chain using our revenue sharing and all of that stuff. So we really make no money off fees. You trust me, we might lose some money on fees sometimes. Where we make our money is by signing up brokers. But even that becomes a tangible tradable asset because we can only sign up a fixed amount due to the fact that they have to stake the coins. So in the long term, where we will actually make more money is by providing services to brokers that can allow them to grow their business. And of course, if you understand how token economics works, if there's a fixed number of tokens, which there's only 350 million in circulation. That means that every time a broker signs up, they're taking 1,000 tokens out of circulation, which drives up the price of the token considerably. So I know that there are a type of minimum 1,000 tokens, which I have how much more over 1,000 would you suggest for? Oh man, see, you need to have 1,000 tokens to be a broker. So if your only objective in this is to be a broker, is fueling 1,000. If you're asking me how much GX tokens I think you should buy and have, obviously I'm not gonna give probably the most objective answer, but I would say that they're gonna be very valuable one day and that they also mine Ceph coin so that they pay you to keep them as well as letting be a broker. But if get your hands on as many as humanly possible because you know that another broker will buy it off of you. There's a huge secondary market for it. If you could buy more, you should. If your only objective is to be a broker and make unlimited commissions, you can do that as well. But they're not. The whole point is that there'll never be more than 250,000 brokers because only 250 million out of the 350 million will ever be issued into the market, which means that person that wants to sign up, broker number 250,001, unfortunately cannot buy it from the company the way that you guys bought it from the company. He's gonna have to come to you guys on the exchange. He's not gonna directly talk to you, he's just gonna put an order on the exchange and he's gonna have to bid you up. And he's basically have to convince you to sell off your tokens and give up your brokerage. Well, that's not gonna be so easy. How do you manage regulatory authorities as crypto platform? Oh, fabulous question. And a very long answer I have for this issued by my fabulous legal team. I would love to just send off our regulatory roadmap document if you can do that. Question was how do you manage regulatory authorities? Yeah, if Carlos, if you can reach out to us on Facebook or something like that, we can send out official document that shows you that legal roadmap. But long story short, we're domiciled in Canada, which means that if you're using the platform right now, you are abiding by regulations that the Canadian regulators are imposing on us, which are minimalistic until July 2020, which is when they're issuing their new compliance requirements for crypto companies. But that we're domiciled there and we're overseen there. However, in terms of the other markets that we operate in, like I said, 34 markets, what we want to do is set up local operations in all of them. That's an ambitious goal of ours. So basically what that means is set up local operations for each country with relationships with the regulators of that country. And I don't think there's a more painful thing to do than what I just said, because I've dealt with regulators in almost, I think, 7 countries now personally. I know of many regulators in India and the United States. I've spent a lot of time, and probably in the United States, I've spent so much time working with regulators. Canada, the UK. So those 4 we have lots of good relationships with, and China is probably going to be the next one in terms of the progress. That's what our legal roadmap shows, when certain licenses are being issued and what we have the power to do and what we don't have the power to do. But right now we're cooking it up in Canada, and we do plan on being compliant in each domestic jurisdiction, which no exchange has ever done. But that increases the value of global exchange tremendously. Great question. Do you offer websites for your brokers operating? I think what you're asking is, do you offer websites for your brokers, like landing pages type of thing, where your brokers can then promote the service? Yeah, we do. You can go into your back office once you've staked your 1,000 coins, and where is it? GX Nitrous. Oh my God, did I log out? Oh, here. And you can click My Brokerage, and you have all of the links here. Obviously, the main one being GX Checkout, which is just a standard sign-up page. If you go to something like Crypto Purchasing Agent, this is also one of our websites that you can offer to your clients. And this is a full crypto purchasing agent. It shows you all the prices of crypto, and your customers can peruse through everything and get started. But like this, we have like 6 or 7 marketing funnels that we're going to release this week, where you can promote your business. A lot of our brokers have taken some initiative to create their own brands and things like that. So we can work with them on that for sure. But we offer our own, and we help you try to take that to the next level. And obviously something like ignitemyfinances.com, which we just released. It's gonna hopefully load up, not the cached. Yeah, this is like a website. It's not in your back office, but we launched it in the Facebook group, which basically you can send to anyone that wants to join these webinars 3 times a week and learn about what's going on. And it's an easy way for you guys to grow your business. And just like this, we have lots of campaigns that we want to give to the brokers. A great question, guys. Let me stop sharing my screen. Look at you guys full time. If fees are paid per transaction, does that have the same logic as Autobot? Does that have the same logic to Autobot trading? The thing with the trading from our GX Algo platform that we're going to release soon is the trades are not executed on our platform, right? The trades are executed on the exchange that you've connected your bot to, which we just give you an interface and allow you to create those bots simply on GX Algo. So let's say, for example, the first exchange we've integrated into GX Algo is Coinbase. And so Coinbase has its own fees, and you will get charged Coinbase fees for trading, running your bot on Algo per transaction. And so, yes, those same fees will be applied. We don't have any fees on algorithmic bots, even if you create them on GX Algo, though. But of course, the exchange will take its fees. And I mean, I guess I could use that to just explain the long-term vision of how we plan on helping our customers save on fees. Number one, we have a new coin called Ceph Coin, which is freely minted by all of our brokers and then sold, where customers can save fees like a BNB on multiple exchange platforms. But apart from that, right now we're routing trades to all of our liquidity providers, and both algorithmically and manually. So what happens is, if we have 100 exchanges that we route trades to, probably the top 10 exchanges don't need our help because they're the top 10 exchanges and people are already trading on them. But for example, Bitfinex, one of the largest exchanges in the world we've integrated with. And so we can now go to Bitfinex customers and say, hey, you can trade on GX Trade and you're still on Bitfinex, you have no issues. And they don't have to change consumer behavior or change anything. And so now they get to come on GX Trade and they said, wait, oh my God, from this one platform, I can also trade on Kraken, and I can trade on Poloniex, and I can trade on XYZ exchange. So now they're exposed to multiple exchanges and they will pick the ones that's advantageous for them. What we hope to do is inspire some of them to route trades to the smaller exchanges, which we don't have any small exchanges partner right now, but we will. That we've already incorporated them in our stack. We just haven't published that into the UI. What does that do? That means that, even though we won't probably be a significant percentage of the large exchanges trading volume, but we will be a very significant percentage of the smaller exchanges trading volume. And so we can have lots of negotiating power to drive down prices in the future, which then we'll pass on to our customers and our brokers. So if you think about the fact that we could be responsible for at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% of trading volume on these exchanges, and even the big ones one day, then we can really go to them and say, listen, I think you owe it to us to lower your fees for our customers. And that's a business tactic that's used by Amazon a lot, which they go using Prime, offering the 2-day shipping and offering all of these features. They're able to really get more they're able to get their existing customers to spend more money. And then they get to go back to their merchants and say, look, our Prime customers are spending so much more money on buying your stuff, reduce your prices, which then they can take back to their customers. And if they get cheaper prices with Prime, more people subscribe to Prime, and this becomes a virtuous flywheel. It's the same thing that we want to do with the exchange marketplace. Oh, do I got some Q&As here? Yep. Just replying to a message. I hope the person that just asked that question got the message that I responded to them. I typed it back out to them. Yeah, that's interesting, this Q&A option here. So, okay, guys, I think that's it for questions. I'm okay to stay on. I love answering questions because it helps me help you. Like I said, best thing you guys can do, sign up for free, get into it, and let's really position you guys well for this next incredible trend. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate all of the work that our brokers are doing in the fields. I really appreciate our new customers, our prospective customers, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us on Facebook, WhatsApp, support channel, everything else that we want to communicate with you guys on. Shout out to my friends back home in Toronto, New York, wherever you guys are coming in from. We're super excited, and you guys should be as well. Thank you.